Quiet on the set. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy. Welcome to Mondays with Myrt, where we talk about anything and everything that's come across our genia desk in the last week since last we met. We got a full complement of panelists today. Some are away, a couple of them are out sick, but here's who was able to show up today. So we have our gal in Wales, Hillary. Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, and Ellen, our gal up there in Canada.
Morning.
Good morning. And Randy, our guy from that foreign country called California.
No doubt. Yeah.
And my and and I think we are cousins distantly, as I am a cousin to Dave Robeson, who's who lives in Chicopee. And you have something happening this week. I will just a little bit later let people know. Thanks to Sherry for being on the other side, over on the YouTube side. Let's see who's out there. Um, Miriam says, "Good morning from sunny Spokane. We don't know that it's particularly sunny yet." And Nina's here from balmy San Mateo. Hi, John. Oh, Shaker Heights is a bit wet this morning. Okay. Flo says, "Happy Monday to all." And Sherry is welcoming everybody. So, yeah, that hashtag that Miriam has put up, hashtag Mondays with Myrt, it could be all uppercase or lowercase, but it's got to be squished together with that hashtag in the beginning for it to be registered with our giveaway tool. And I really want to give a shout out to Sherry because last week she won the Research Like a Pro or the Research Like a Pro DNA book. Um, and she already has both of them. And so rather than my just giving her the equivalent, she said, put it back in the hopper. Let's do a draw today. So a little bit later, we'll do that. Let's see. Bev says, "Good morning, panel. Nice to see you all." And there is Flo doing the Mondays with Myrt. And Miriam, you got yours in too. And Miriam, I'm really looking forward to finally having our writers accountability meetup tomorrow night. We've had challenges the last week or so, couple of weeks anyway. All right. So a lot of people asked me privately and a couple publicly on Facebook, including Miriam, wanting to know if we were actually having Mondays with Myrt today since it is a holiday here. And so I wanted to talk with you about it. First of all, it's really important to me that you know, Cousin Russ and I, long ago, let me share my screen, set this um, set this graphic to remind us about being inclusive. And gosh, I remember when I set this up in 2024 sounded so far in the future. The whole point of the International Decade for People of African Descent was to about being accepting of each other's backgrounds and different. I just love hearing what our grandmothers and great grandmothers have taught us and the little cultural differences. And there really is more that brings us together than divides us. And then we have this concept of for years here in America, we celebrated Columbus Day. And then let me pull it up. Oh, I wanted to give you this link about equity, diversity, and inclusion from the American Psychiatric Association. So let me share my screen. Um, I'll give this out. Okay. Because all three of those words in one, it's usually DEI, not equity, diversity, and inclusion. Those three words really do typify the attitude I want us to always have here during Mondays with Myrt. genealogists want to look objectively at their family history research and not be judgmental. But why should we confine that only to our ancestors? I'm noticing that more people from diverse backgrounds are showing up at Roots Tech. It's not just those of us with skin about like mine, but probably decades younger than old Myrt. But anyway, let me mention this. Whoops, not that one. Traditionally, this was Columbus Day. And actually, we have some interesting news that's come across. Randy will share the link with you that they've determined from DNA that Columbus was actually a Sephardic Jew from Western Europe. And now we call, as of the 2021, the Proclamation on Indigenous People. This came from the president, and it has to do with the fact that he issued a memorandum in its very first week. Let me zoom in a little bit here on this. And I'm not making a political statement about a particular president. I am respecting that this was a presidential proclamation about recognizing what has happened here in the American continent with how the colonial and federal government did not have respect for American Indians, Alaska Native tribals, etc. And so he declared that on Indigenous People Day, we honor America's first inhabitants and the tribal nations that continue to thrive today, which is amazing considering the frankly quite treacherous and bloody history of man's inhumanity to man. So it first came out October 11th, 2021, Indigenous People Day, and I am happy to continue to celebrate that. Now, one of my friends, um, Paula Stewart Warren, is a researcher, and she wrote this blog post about September 30th, which is the National Day of Remembrance of U.S. Indian boarding schools. You'll need to remember that she lives in Minnesota and for decades worked with a Native American tribe to help the potential members of the tribe determine if in fact they were. She worked for the tribe to help prove it or disprove it. So she's very familiar. And if you have this article, which Randy just shared with you under my name there, Dear Myrtle Archive. Thanks, Randy. What she has discovered in looking at all of these Bureau of Land Management records and thousands of pages of letters and things, that how very terrible the trauma was wreaked upon the children of various Indian nations in our country, all in the name of trying to make them Eastern European. They cut their hair, they took off their traditional clothing and had them wear uniforms and would not let them speak their native tongue. And this is a very telling statement. And I've become aware of this lately because of the Samish Nation that has a presence here on our island. There is such a thing as a Native American boarding school healing coalition. And there were 523 of those schools. And we're just talking basically modern 20th century things. It's not just in the 19th century or the 18th century that there were problems, but these schools began in the late 1800s and 1900s, and I wanted you to be aware of that. Now, when we look at the Coast Salish, which is all the people, all the various nations that reside in the area where I live, let me zoom in on this really cool map. Okay, it goes. This is the border right here between British Columbia, or well, yeah, Canada, and the United States. This dotted line. So this is Vancouver Island, and what we're not in when we say Coast Salish, it's the people of the inner waterway and down into the Squamish and Stillicum area of Puget Sound. And my island represented here is this was one of the several places where the Samish Nation people lived. This place was where the women kept woolly dogs, and they took turns as to who would come over and care for them for months at a time. The Samish Nation has kind of a checkerboard bit of land ownership in this area. My island is, let's see, there's orcas. So this must be, yeah, this is my island. That's Cyprus. It's a really tiny place. But the Samish have a presence on uh, our island. The woolly dogs were very hairy, long-haired dogs that whose hair was woven into blankets. And part of why the Samish, which is kind of a smaller tribe, um, or nation, I think we call it, it's a Samish Indian nation. Um, they had a presence on Fidalgo Island, a little bit on Lopez Island. My friend Rosie um, is identifies as part Samish and part Lummi. She was born on Orcas Island, where my daughter lives, and men went where the salmon were running. And there are a lot of intermingling of the nations with um, alliances that were formalized sometimes because of marriage, sometimes what occurred at a potlatch reinforced that familiarity and that collegiate, I guess that's kind of an English word, but that camaraderie or that kinship. In fact, Rosie tells me that I'm kind of thinking of her because her son just died and we have the funeral things today and tomorrow. Um, she says if she knows you, you are and cares for you, well, not just her, if someone in that nation has a kinship with you through friendship, you are part of that. And you are called a sister or a brother. And it's beautiful. I'm learning a lot. I really am, and I appreciate it. All right. So we've talked about differences between Columbus Day and, geez, I get so choked up about it, and Indigenous Peoples Day. And I want all of us, when we're working together, to be open-minded and to appreciate the diversity among those of us around our table. And there's always room for more conversation. So Hillary, you're my co-host today on this side, like Sherry is over on the YouTube side. Ellen's my timekeeper. Randy is sending out the links, which really helps. And Dave is here for moral support. Dave, do you see how many people it takes to do Cousin Russ's job? He was just a marvel, wasn't
He was
he?
amazing.
That's for sure. What's next on the docket, Hillary? What shall we talk about next?
I think it's Randy next.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna. This is a really good topic. It has to do with family search, but we're going to pull up your blog post first, Randy. So let's. I think you can all stay on the panel if you like. Um, and I will share my screen. And this is the post we're talking about. Now, we've talked in the past, Randy, about full text search. But what's changed? Let us know.
Well, we've talked quite a bit since Roots Tech this year.
Mm-hmm.
So full text search, I think most of us know that it is something new. They've taken the images on Family Search and they have not only indexed them, every name, every word, okay, but
Yes.
they've also transcribed them in full text search. Not all images on Family Search are in full text search yet, but a significant number are. So, but the big deal for all of us is that the searching is really important. Okay, we can search, we can find, we can save, and we can read now the text of a record. The transcription isn't always perfect, but it's there, and usually you can make things out. But having this full text search for land records and probate records and other text-rich records is a gold mine. You can not only search for the key person, the primary person you're searching for, but also for uh, uh, records that might mention a family member, a witness, a neighbor, an associate in a record.
The
Think,
fan club.
think of all the deeds that mention children's married names, daughters' married names. Think of all the probate records that mention daughters' married names. Those have been unfindable in general unless you got lucky. But
Yeah.
I have, I probably have 10 or 20 female ancestors in my roots magic tree in the last 10 or 12 generations that don't have a maiden name yet. And now there's that opportunity to find those folks.
Absolutely. Um, where I can see this working for me, I have several people where I'm not sure of the death year. So the fact that this is looking for the occurrence of my ancestor's name in any location on a form, not just the principle of a will, but a witness. If my guy's witnessing, he's still alive, So it helps me expand the timeline of his life if I, ultimately decide, yeah, that's my John Doe.
And he's in the fan club.
And he's in the fan club. Yeah, because you would be triangulating with the other witnesses and
Yep.
and everything else. Um, and the full text search that is the transcript is very useful because even though it isn't always perfect, it's usually like about 90 something percent perfect.
Yeah.
And so then I only have to fix a little bit, which is tremendous for time as a time saver. Now, the reason I wanted to deal with this particular blog post of yours is that you go step by step of how to get there and what to do. And then we're going to talk about categories, but that isn't the part of the gold mine that I wanted to talk about. It's about, is this the complete collection? No, it isn't, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Randy and I are going to, I want you to remember, click on that link that's there in the chat. It's the last comment so far in the chat, so that you've got this saved on another tab. Because you'll use this blog post of Randy's as your guide. Now, I'm already logged in at Family Search, and Randy's going to show me how to get there and how to filter the list of historical record sets. So what shall I do, Randy?
click on the second one there. Find help with AI search.
So
Go to yeah. Don't turn it off.
yeah, right. Okay.
Okay. So no, that was the wrong one. I'm sorry.
Well, they changed it. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That's AI. How
yeah,
about go to experiment full
one.
text?
Yeah, I saw AI and I thought that was it.
Because we're doing it is being accomplished by AI. I don't blame you.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what? I can guarantee at least 10 people are going to have made that mistake, and we'll have to hit the back button and get there from here. Okay, so this is the full text.
Yeah. Now
search.
the search feature has changed. Okay. Before it just had keywords. Okay. Before. And now the last month or so, they've added name and place and a year range, and then click search. Now, so I've experimented with this. I was using plus Cornelius plus feather in the keywords, and it would find me all results that have Cornelius and feather in the document or on the page, the image. Okay.
Okay. Am I spelling Cornelius right correctly?
Say it again.
Am I spelling Cornelius correctly?
Yeah. And then feather, like in a hat.
Feather in a hat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And search that way, and you'll get what I get. A list, 8,000. Okay. And so that is all from all the millions of images they have in full text search. There's actually 4.5 billion images in the family search images. So we have a long way to go to add all those to this collection. But so up at the top are the filters on the top left under results. There are filters for collection, year, place, and record type. Okay, so any one of those you can click on and you get a choice. So if you click on collection, it will tell you which collections there are records for these results. It gives you all the collections. Okay.
So if you knew your guy was a Connecticut guy, you could go there.
Yep.
And then that's all you'd see, and not the ones from the UK or Georgia or something like that.
Yep. So he's a guy. Cornelius is a guy with Ohio and Pennsylvania. So you'd have to click down.
Well, at least it's in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Here's Ohio.
There's 849 collections in that list right there. They don't all show up because maybe they do all show up. Yeah. So.
Wow.
They're all there. There's 849. I counted them today using a spreadsheet.
Okay. Okay.
So
now
it's on Ohio wills and deeds. And I click apply, and it provides the records that I found. The first time I tried this, I found these records, and it was new for me, and it gave me Cornelius's wife's maiden name, basically.
So do you want to take this one just as an example, or the first one?
Take the first one. Yeah.
Sure.
That's my guy. The second one isn't my guy.
Okay. So the transcript is coming in. Wow.
So there's a couple things here. It tells you where it gets it in the top left. Deed record, Trumbull, deeds 1831. That's Trumbull County, Ohio. It says it's image 439 of 522 in that set of images. Okay. It shows you the image, and it highlights the keywords that you input. In this case, Cornelius and feather. Okay. And using the plus there, you can zoom in. You can download the image with the download arrow to the left of the plus. And then up in the upper, over on the full transcript side,
there's that
where you can copy the transcription there you can, using the download indicator there, that will download the image and the transcription and the source. Okay.
Okay, so I clicked on
So
this side.
that goes into PDF, and so you have a choice. You can only download the image or download the image with a transcript, etc.
Okay, so if I'm here, it's just the image, this download. But if I'm on this side, underneath full transcript, that download,
That one will download the whole thing on a PDF.
okay, and
It's usually like 3 pages.
okay, so I will do that. I have the choice to include image with highlights,
Yeah.
include image with no highlights, or to exclude, don't include the record image.
Yep.
Include the citation. I really want to see what that citation is.
So that will go to your computer.
Okay, so I'm gonna click save, then I'm gonna go find it. So give me a minute.
Yeah.
While you're talking. I think initially I'd want it to highlight where my guy's name, either Feather or Cornelius, shows up.
Yes, it makes it so much easier to
Yeah.
figure out if this is your right guy. That's a wonderful result.
Okay, there's the image. Okay, this is the PDF. Okay.
So there should be 3 pages there, probably.
Okay, there's the image, which is nice and big.
There's the image, and
I have 2 pages, I think.
okay.
That so.
Yeah.
And then here is the citation.
It gives you the citation, and it gives you a link to it so that you can get to it again from this document.
Okay.
So I rename those and then use those to drive my transcriptions now of deeds, especially. Because deeds are long and windy, and they're often confusing.
A lot of boilerplate stuff going on.
A lot of boilerplate, yeah.
All right.
There's also go back to that last, the website one.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Over on the right again, under show keywords, there's a summarize the document. And so that gives you a 1-paragraph summary of what this is with a list of the people and the years and the places and things like that mentioned. So that's really useful too. Okay. Now this is the second page of a 2-page document.
Yeah, because it starts with LE.
Yeah.
LEY in the transcript.
It's, so the transcript is true. That transcript is really good. When you get into columns like the names there in the middle of the page, sometimes it will read right across, and other times it won't. I have a real problem with deeds that have information in the margins.
Oh, yeah.
And that gets really confusing. That's most of my problems with this. That is just that, and it's not a big deal. Now that I know about it, I can deal with it. I just don't bother reading the first 5 or 6 lines and just grab it myself.
So Miriam is thrilled because Trumbull County, Ohio is where some of her folks are from. So we're making her extra happy.
Well, all the counties of Ohio have all the deeds that they have. As long as one of the caveats here is that if you're not an LDS member and you're working from home, the restricted records are not in this yet. If you go to the Family Search Center, they are.
Or you have a friend on Writing Accountability, Marion, Tuesday night. You can have me look something up for you. Be happy to do that. No baptisms required.
So you see why I call it a gold mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you go? We'll look at why don't we look at the other filters also? Go back to the results page.
Okay, let's see. Here's full text search. I can close this.
So we looked at the collections, okay, and we picked Ohio. Year.
Okay.
So if you only wanted, and so here you'd say pick 1800s, pick 1800,
Yeah, let me zoom in even more.
pick 1800, and it will give you, okay, it will give you a choice of what decade.
Okay, and
Okay.
I could apply. How about place?
Yeah, place. You need to apply if you're going to pick
I
something.
understand.
Okay. So place, and here, uh, remember those 103 matches, U.S., United States of America. I think we're still in that collection. So
We're still part of Ohio.
we're still in collection. Yeah.
So,
X out the collection.
yeah.
X that out. Okay. And now we're back to the 8,000. So
And
here,
now look at the filter by year choices.
yeah. Okay. Pick. Okay. So
And
here, instead of by filtering by collection, if you may not know a collection, right? You may know that they're in Ohio, but you don't know what county they're in, or you don't know what record you're looking for. So you pick
wow.
a country, United States of America, pick United States, and then you'll be able to pick Ohio off a list. So all the filters have these sub-filters uh, like this. And so Ohio is 381, okay? And apply that. You could pick a county also if you wanted to, but
Yeah.
let's not. Uh, and so now we're down to 381. You pick record type and see what types of records there might be. They've just added court records to the legal records. So there's all these record types. Uh, those are the record types they have. Not all of them will be for this search, but wills, court records, property records. So deeds are, I think, property records, but I don't know. But the court records are relatively new, and that's something we don't have anywhere else except in
No.
search microfilms and digital microfilm, and now in images, and now in full text search.
Okay. And this is exactly why I wanted to work with you on this, not just me looking at it, because I know you work more on this than I do. I'm at the Hysterical Society meetings on Tuesday, etc. Um, so it isn't like we can just scroll through a list of all of them like you did for Alabama back on your
Mm-hmm.
post like this. You only gave us like the top few, Australia and Arizona and
Yep.
into California, and that list is going to change every time you turn around as they're adding more databases. We prayed for a day like this, you know?
They're updating them every week, at least every week.
Yeah,
They're adding more every week. When I searched for Smith in the blog post 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
I got 25 million results. Okay. Today it's up to 28 million. Okay.
Oh,
When I searched for Seaver, it was 129,000 results, and now it's up to 141,000. So there's.
I can't imagine the computing technology for the servers at Family Search to give us these so quickly. That's just phenomenal, Randy, isn't it?
It's still a needle in the haystack. The haystack has gotten really big,
Mm,
and now you can search not just for the keywords, but also for the name. But with the name, you have to be careful because names are often abbreviated. Thomas is THOS. Benjamin is BENJ, superscript N, things like that. And so if you search for an exact thing in quotes, you can do that there. You can't use wildcards though.
I was just going to ask you, not the Boolean question mark or the asterisk, the star.
Not in quotes. You can out of quotes. So
Okay, that's interesting. Love the summary feature. I agree. There's just these tools. People talk about AI and we're so worried about it and everything else, but this is the good part of it and why it's useful to us. And those kids, I'm going to say, at Brigham Young University who are developing these tools and applying them for these specific databases. They're students at the university level, great projects for them to do for their, for the classes they're taking. I love that combination. Get their brains working on this, figure out where the snafus are, etc.
There's all these tools out there that are AI based, like this is transcription. There's also translation. We've talked about that before.
Mhm.
But then there's analysis and there's summarization, upload a document, and it will summarize it for you. Things like that.
Mhm. Not upload a document though at Family Search. We're talking about AI generally.
Yeah, right.
Mhm. Mhm. Excellent. Well, thank you. So, guys, don't forget to use that link to Randy's specific blog post to guide you. So you can also listen to the recording of Mondays with Myrt and, go to the next step and pause and then go try it. And then play some more of the video recording. One of the advantages of live streaming directly to YouTube is that as soon as we're done with the live stream, where we can interact with Sherry and everybody else that's showing up for the live stream, is that that recording is immediately available. And I love that. I use it when I do quilting, theoretically, not as much as I want, though, in actuality. And when it's something that they've described that I haven't done before, a certain little trick or something to do, even if I'm watching it on my phone, I'll pause it and rewind and play that part again until it finally sinks into old Myrt's brain here. So let me suggest that you do that with this. Randy and I want you to start using this feature. Just pick an ancestor. You will be surprised. When you first did this, Randy, the first time, it wasn't it land records in New England that you found?
No, it was exactly the Cornelius Feather
Oh,
search.
it was. That was your search. Yeah.
His wife was one of my brick walls, and I recognized immediately what this was going to do. This is during RootsTech, the first day of RootsTech that they exposed this.
Mhm.
And
Okay,
wow,
it is a big wow. Thank you,
Gene,
family.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right. What are we doing next? Let's see. There's full text search. You know what to do. We saw the deed. I'm I'm scrolling through. All right. Let me remind everybody what we're going to be doing shortly. I'll share my screen. We're going to be doing a giveaway, and you have to insert in the chat in the chat on the YouTube side the Mondays with Myrt hashtag. I only put the uppercase letters periodically, so it's sometimes easier to read. In fact, ADA says you should do it that way, but the techies don't want to do it that way. I'm doing it ADA. And what I'm willing to give away are the Kindle versions of Research Like a Pro or Research Like a Pro with DNA Kindle edition. And this is with Diane Elder and her daughter, and they are pretty smart cookies. I found out that if you are in a foreign country, foreign to me, I would have to send you the money through Venmo or PayPal, whatever the equivalent is, because I use Amazon.com and that I can't send it through Amazon.com to another country. Funny little thing. Not very much diversity and inclusion there, huh? I digress. Okay. So, what we'll do is let's see what's next. What is next on the docket?
I think, is it Elizabeth showing mails?
Yes. Okay. We're going to do an interesting thing with Elizabeth Shown Mills. Um, let me bring this over. Okay. And I'll share my screen and we'll get it from there. Let's see. All right. So I have a friend who was here on the island all winter, and starting in the early spring, he would come to our weekly or monthly family history drop in at our tiny, sweet little library on Guaymas Island. And he wanted, he's back east on Long Island. I'm trying to say it the way they say it, Long Island. And um, he wanted to know about some classes. And I taught, I did, I know his time is short and he's a very quick learner, but my best recommendation to him was look at Elizabeth Shown Mills quick lessons. Now, we've done a couple of study groups over the years, and one of them was it was called What Does She Say? ESM, Elizabeth Shown Mills, What Does She Say? She's the author of that book, Evidence Explained, now in its fourth edition. And it's now got a white cover, quite distinctive. So I went to Evidence Explained, typed in quick lesson, as you can see here, and I got a list. Some of them they weren't in numerical order, and some of them weren't they weren't the actual quick lesson. It was referring to a quick lesson, etc. And this told me they had at least 25 quick lessons, 26, and then something is subsequent. I wanted him to just have the quick lessons in numerical order and give him that. And this is only one of multiple pages that talk about quick lessons. And I'm not logged in. You don't have to be logged in to see the quick lessons. Let me know if you're one of the ones that took a study group with me when we did this. Cousin Russ was co-host then. So I decided to go to Perplexity, and I'm going to pull that up. And I have a pro account there. And Randy, you did this same thing. Am I logged in? Let's see. Have to. And what did you notice? You have the free accounts, and I have the pro accounts. Let me stop screen sharing for a bit while you talk, and I get logged into Perplexity and Chat GPT.
Yeah, I did the same search that you did with the same prompt that you provided in your handout thing, and Perplexity couldn't do it. They said we can't do this. Now I'm on the free account. Okay, when I did it on ChatGPT, it gave me the first 10 in order, 1 through 10, and then I gave it another question. Aren't there more? And it said, oh yeah, here's the rest of them. And it gave me 25.
Okay, and I never got to 25, which made me pretty darn upset. Let me show you my results, and we'll compare and contrast. I'm going to share my screen. This is Perplexity. So here was the prompt. Now, this is probably the umpteenth time you've heard us talk about, I know, Monique. I know. We're just playing a game here. Monique knows another way to get to all of them. A prompt is the way you communicate with these large language models, the LLMs. Perplexity is known for giving citations more readily. Randy, I Randy and I used this prompt saying, as a university student seeking to follow Elizabeth Schoenmill's quick lessons in order, search evidenceexplained.com for each and create a bulleted list by lesson number, title, and hyperlink. So it's what level. This isn't a third grade level. This isn't a high school level. This is a university student level. But and I told it where to go and to search for those quick lessons in chronological order, and how I wanted the information to be presented was a bulleted list by lesson number and title and hyperlink. And did you get these photos, these images, when you did your free search, Randy?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was you were using Perplexity free version.
Yep.
Okay. So it gave me, I'm using a pro search and it's remembering what I asked it to do. And it does this live. So let me do it live again so you can see it. New thread. Ask it anything. I'm going to switch on to pro. This tricked me at first. I did not know. I thought if it said pro, it was pro till I rolled my mouse over. And I pay $20 a month or maybe 10, I don't know. And it's 20 for ChatGPT Pro because of the classes. Okay, see how it's doing it live? There's its prioritized list. It's visiting it. It's telling us what it's doing. It's in the middle of this. Now it's reading it. It's not quite ready to create the bulleted list. Now it's giving us sources and it's starting. See, when it gives me the lesson, it gives me the title and then replaces the title with a hyperlink. And I want you to see this in action rather than just a screenshot. So I'm really glad it's working today. Okay, this time I got all of them. Randy.
Well, there is a 27 also. Part of any of these AI tools is they're pre-trained up to some point in time. Okay. When Steve Little published the list of different AI tools, that gave a time frame. Like ChatGPT 4.0 free was only trained till December 2023. Okay, so maybe this is only trained till June 2024. We don't know. Without looking, we don't know.
Well, we also don't.
That's excellent.
So since I got up to 26, I mean, I only got to 20 the first time. If we look at this first response, this was the most recent. It's on top here on the left nav bar. It only gave me up to 20, and then I said thank you, but I know there are more than 20 quick lessons. Please check your work. And it went through it all again and gave me 21. Today, I mean, it's already learned about these 21. So today it gave me, 5 more. So it's learning from me teaching it by pushing the limits there. And again, we have these graphics. Okay, so I'm going to go do what Monique suggested we do. We could just click here. But when I have always just used the keywords. But that's because I started using Evidence Explained when she only had like 8 quick lessons. And so they always just popped right up. But now she's got multiple quick lessons and multiple additional posts that refer to those quick lessons by their title, and therefore they show up in my search results. And I'm like this one. So if the person did not make a static page like quick lessons here, if the website didn't have it, well, there's lesson 27. That's not the list of quick lessons. It's not there, guys. What's the difference? Yeah, they're kind of all jumbled up too. So if what you wanted was a nice clean list, you'd have to keep working with AI. Yeah, I agree with Monique. I love Perplexity. That's the one I go to first because it does such a good job of giving me sources. Okay. So Monique, if you click on she says if she clicks on the quick lesson tab on the top right side, she gets all 27 in backwards order. So let me see if I'm just not being patient. Okay, quick lessons, 27.
There's 26. It's there.
Did I pass 26?
It doesn't have a big title.
Oh, okay. Here's
Some
23. Yeah, and here's 22. And why is that? And here's that's 22. Here's 21. Here's 20. Wonder why some have big and some don't. That's hard to read. I mean, when you're trying to scroll and see is this a complete list. So apparently I have it too. It's just peculiar the way some of the lessons have bolder text. Not bolder, but larger text. And that's how the design of a document, a block, can be in HTML. Well, she's probably using WordPress or something like that. You have to let it know that this is going to be larger text. I'm not criticizing. As long as it's there, it's good. And this is an incredible educational tool for this fellow. I've worked with him long enough to know he's going to have a hard time sitting still in class. He's young, but very smart. And I'm quite sure he's going to be querying me back when it gets to the thing of the fan club. That particular quick lesson is a challenge. Okay, thank you for telling me. I'm just going to stop there and go on a little bit. Yeah, and Monique, when you say that the other pages are formatted correctly, I'm sure it just has to do with the coding that she did at the time. I want to congratulate Leave. She has taken another person on a trip. I love these pictures. On a trip, she's met them when they flew over from the United States to Norway, and she's with them still today. This has been going on this week. What she does in helping people, she not only says, come over to Norway, I'll take you to a few places. She connects people with descendants of the same family. She really goes out of her way to make it a true ancestral experience. Also on the panel today, Cousin Dave, I think we have to find that link because I closed the tab inadvertently too soon. Can you pull up the link and give it to me in the private chat or public chat?
Which link? The
one to your Chicopee Historical Society event, because I like to spotlight whenever my panelists are doing cool things.
Take a look and go to.
Yeah, it's all good. Just when you get around to it. Okay. And Hillary, did you find Daniel's hyperlink?
Yeah.
If you could give
it in the private chat.
Okay. That's right, you did. Thank you. Okay, so I've got it. Um,
to, to,
and he had a big breakthrough this week because, let me show you, he worked with an 80-year-old man who calls for cousins to be allowed to give samples. Remember that Daniel is very concerned about the mother and baby homes over in Ireland, and he has volunteers working with him. They use Discord to coordinate their efforts, and he takes their data and puts it into a spreadsheet and adds it to his website. And he's been in the news on and off for a couple of years now. And this is the gentleman who knows that his mother is one of the ones that um, passed away at a mother and baby home. He was able to figure this out. And so kudos and congratulations, Daniel, for the work that you're doing. It's all good. Okay. So thank you for that post. And when you get a chance, Dave, if you can give me the link about your event coming up on Wednesday, I'd like to spotlight that as well.
sure. And here's my problem. I'm on my new laptop, which I haven't transferred everything over yet. So I'm going to do my best to find it for you.
Okay.
I'll find it for us, rather.
So, Hillary, if you just look for Dave Robeson over on Facebook, you'll find it. And I'll go to the next topic. He's having a challenge, and I don't blame him. Okay, we did the quick lesson thing. Um, uh, this is something that Melinda has wanted to talk with us about for a couple of weeks. And Melinda is one of our panelists. I'm going to pull this up. And she's a little under the weather today. But thank you for contributing this. I don't want to forget this because it also has to do with education. So let me zoom in. Whenever you have a website as robust as this for the National Archives of the United States, look to see if there are, I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure. It's not Ellen. Is it Randy? It might have been you, Randy, because it's fine now. Look to see what educator resources they have. And this is what we're looking at here on the screen, where there are examples of documents that teachers could use to bring history to life, thousands of them, and they're primary sources, which teaches kids what primary sources are, that they could be a speech, a poster, a photograph, a letter. And it runs the gamut of things that have been archived at the National Archives of the United States. And they have a collection of documents. This is the find and use activities category, where they've already created interesting projects. These are all patents. And I mean, we didn't get to do fun interactive stuff like this and play around with this when I was in school. We had these big, old, heavy history books that weren't very well written, apparently. But look at the diversity in this. Yes. And looking at it in a table format. And then analyzing a student's letter about the Exxon Valdez oil spill. That's current history. Well, it's actually quite a few years ago, but because it happened that this child wrote about it in 1989, that's when the oil spill occurred. We've been to that oil spill location. You have to go through a one-way tunnel and go on a road that our tires spanned a narrow gauge train track, and heaven help us if the electronic red light didn't work, red and green light, because you wouldn't know what you were doing. These may be things that you could also use, not just with as a teacher, but I'm thinking of people like Miriam, who has grandchildren that are going before too long into elementary school. When they come to visit grandma, she might do something with this with them, especially since they have Alaska roots in the family on her side. Um, these are things that
Looks like we've temporarily lost Myrt.
He's gone again. Yeah. Patience. We need patience.
back button.
Oh, good.
I was hitting the back button on the StreamYard screen and not the one on my shared screen. I'm sorry. Yeah. You might use this if you find something interesting as a, if you're a program chair for your genealogical society. Okay, that's the correct back button to press. Yeah, go exploring, see what's available. Even if, one of the hardest things about being a program chair of a genealogy society is dealing with the unforeseen circumstance of a presenter who's stuck in another town because the connecting flight didn't work. In fact, Blaine Bettinger was just bemoaning that fact and was canvassing the speakers group that I belong to about do you go a day early then? And, that's not an expense that he should be absorbing because it's all about being able to get there on time. Should we split the cost with the local genealogy society for an extra hotel room night? What to do? And I always like to go a day early just to meet everybody in town, like the Family History Center director and workers and the local museum. But if you, let me ask you, Dave,
Yes.
with your Western Massachusetts Genealogical Society, have you ever had a time when a presenter couldn't make it?
Yes.
And what did you guys do? When did you find out? Right that day or that
Well,
morning?
usually someone would let us know early in the afternoon and say, like me, my throat's all congested today. I couldn't
Yeah.
speak. But and then somebody would just simply step in. It doesn't happen very often. And of course, I'm still a member of Western Mass Genealogical, but I'm not the president or I'm not anything there. I'm just a member. On the other side, Randy, thank you very much. Here I'm in a panic looking for the link to what you wanted to look at, and he put it in the chat. Randy, I owe
Yeah.
you.
I'll bring it up in a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. And so this is the Chicopee Historical Society. I'm on the board of the Chicopee Historical Society. It's probably one of the last board seats that I'm going to hold. I just get too busy with all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, I
Anyway,
understand. Yeah.
whenever you're ready, the
All
link
right.
is there in the chat.
I have to retell that I would like to share my screen. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, is this the right one?
Well, okay, that's that happens to be the fellow William Pynchon who as the story goes, the whole western end of Massachusetts, which what is today Massachusetts, was part of the Connecticut colony. And this guy, William Pynchon, was a wealthy trader and was making a small fortune, treating the Native Americans with respect and doing the kind of business that he was accustomed to do as a Christian, basically. And the Connecticut colony wanted him to basically short circuit everything he was doing with the Native Americans and cheat him out of everything. And he refused to do it. He went off and petitioned to the Massachusetts Bay Colony to take over the western side end of what is now Massachusetts. So
Mhm.
that's oh, you found something there. That's good. Okay,
So this is what you're going to be talking about,
correct.
the development of the western Massachusetts part, the
Mhm.
western part of Massachusetts. Now, this is not a virtual meeting, is it? It's
Well,
strictly in person.
yes, I've got a Zoom. No, I got approval to do a Zoom
Oh,
Zoom meeting.
that's what this link is.
Yep. It-
Okay, so let me get that link to people.
Yep.
And so that you can, if you want to know more about boy, that's one heck of a link.
When I
Well, you know
when
how
I talk
Facebook
about
does.
Springfield being a part of Connecticut, the whole western end of the state of what is now Massachusetts was a part of Connecticut until from Connecticut River west. But
Okay.
but then William Pynchon. Just a quick note about William Pynchon. He was a he was he wrote a book called The Meritorious Price of Our Redemption. He was called a heretic, and he was pulled from the colony and sent back to England. And his son
Oh,
took everything over. But a pretty wealthy
wow.
guy, actually, altogether.
Oh, all the political intrigue.
Yeah,
It isn't
Springfield,
just,
Connecticut. That doesn't make any sense to anybody because they know Springfield is Massachusetts, but
I hear you.
they'll figure it out.
All right. Well, I'm glad we've got to have you get some fisherman's friend to get your throat cleared up.
Oh, I'm
That
all over that.
horrible stuff, thanks to John Laws. I know about it and I always
I
keep it here.
I have several packages of Fisherman's Friend.
It'll clear your sinuses and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
All right.
But
Okay.
thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Well, like I say, when it finally sinks into my brain and I spot it, I love to tell what my panelists are doing because
Did you post the link to the Zoom meeting?
yes, we did.
Okay. All right. And understand that's Eastern time. That's
hmm
got to adjust.
Sounds good. So good luck.
Thank you.
All right. I think we've been through almost our whole list of topics. Oh, we want to pull up the review from Dear Myrtle. Let me go to Facebook. Would you go to Dear Myrtle's Facebook group and give me the link, please, to Nathan Dylan Goodwin's book review, The Hollywood Strangler? And I think I will go ahead. Since I left, I have to now reset the giveaway. So everybody, please put hashtags in again. Mondays with Myrt. StreamYard giveaway. I love life, don't you? We have challenges, and it's okay. If anything, all right, I will choose the stream. Wait a minute. You have to do it after I've set it up. Everybody's typing. Mondays with, I've got to do it. So here's how I do it. I may as well just show you. You could use this if you have a Zoom account and a StreamYard account, but you're in Zoom, can't do it. You have to be in your StreamYard account because one of the things I have to do, let me show you, is I have to pick which StreamYard I'm in so it knows where to pull the messages, the hashtag. So I have two live streams scheduled, and this one is the live one. And I misspelled Myrt. I put two T's on it. Now let me zoom in more so you can see it. There you go. And now I will start collecting. There are 11 entries. Thank you, Randall. And I'm not sure if Char's there. Just everybody do it again. Oh, by the way, I think I saw Miles here. And I want to know that you're okay. If you're here, you're okay. Because you all had a terrible hurricane. And a lot of my usual beachfront haunts in Manatee County, Florida, and Sarasota, I used to live in Bradenton, are shambles, and they only have portable washers and dryers and shower stalls and bathroom facilities because there's no water out there. It's a mess, a terrible mess. Lots of damage in the county due to tornadoes. Yeah, there were tornadoes in advance of that. Some areas still with no electricity, but you never lost power or internet. You are one lucky duck. They were pretty powerful EF3s. Thank you, Miles. I'm so glad you guys are okay, though. I have Carrie and I. Yeah, the warning doesn't. That's terrible. And that's for your county, isn't it? Just your county, that 170. Randall says he's up in Clearwater. They got their power back yesterday. Your building has damages. So Clearwater's on the north side of Tampa Bay, whereas Bradenton, Manatee County, Florida is on the south side of Tampa Bay. And Miles is over there in South Florida. Man, I was praying for you guys, especially when you just had Hurricane Helene and then you had Milton. It was double whammy. Okay, what are we playing for? Let's see. I only have 11, so see, maybe that we have 29 people viewing, so I'm not going to run the StreamYard yet, or the giveaway yet, to give you all time. Okay, what did I ask for? In the private chat, she gave me this. All right, I want you to know what I do over here in Dear Myrtle, and that'll give people time to type. First of all, I don't know if I can ever get rid of that picture of Cousin Russ because it reminds me of, this was taken when I gave him that collage with the picture of his ancestor in uniform and with a participation certificate or medallion. You need to let your folks know that you appreciate them. And okay, here we go. And I keep that as our headliner there, our headline graphic. Please do consider joining Mondays with Myrt. It is a private group. It has very few members in it, only about 6,200. I curate what happens here. And we have always made it a safe place to post. It's not a public area like Threads or Instagram or X. I don't go on X too frequently. But my purpose in posting here is to give you information as it comes across my desk that we don't always get to. Let me try to zoom in a little more. There we go. What I wanted to bring to your attention was John's Hollywood Strangler review. He's a smart guy. One of the things that I agree with, well, I agree with everything he said. And in fact, I posted, this is precisely why I like reading Nathan's books. When I'm not tackling the genealogical brick walls and DNA conundrums in my own family tree, I delight in following the research processes in Nathan's books. So of my panelists, Hillary, tell me about you and your reaction to Nathan's books. I know.
Oh, I love them. I've read all of them apart from this latest one, which I have got on Kindle, but I haven't read it yet. So I haven't even started reading it yet. I've been busy reading other books for book clubs and things, and
Yeah.
But I've got it there ready to read when I'm ready.
Well, you got to get cranking because it solves the murder mystery and it answers some questions about his lead character, Morton Ferrier's life.
Yeah. I love all those sort of books, though, and we read quite a few. I'm probably missing my next book club because I'm not even started reading the book yet.
Oh dear!
I've got the book for the next one after that, which is written by somebody who I know, and I've got another one of her books, so I'm going to have to start reading them. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Randy's saying here. Turn on your mic, Randy. We are learning from his books. They aren't just comic relief.
Yeah, and I mistyped it. Not always. I'm almost done. I'm on about
Okay.
page 400. There are 300. There's
Yeah.
350 pages in the soft copy. Um, so, but I keep learning things, and I keep being reminded of what I don't use. I don't have a paid people finder like Ben Bear.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
I have an aversion to paying for stuff
That's okay.
on a monthly basis, especially. Yeah, uh, but you know, this is the classical thing, that C.C. Moore started with. I don't know how she came up with how to do all this, of working back in time to a common ancestor and then doing descendants research down to living people.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key. And it's interesting how they weave the actual process in with the stories now, the personal stories of all the people in Venator. And uh, that's the other part of the book. The DNA is there, the genealogy is there, but now it's a story about people too. And that wasn't the case much in the first book, the first DNA book.
Right. We got here's what Randy's talking about. First of all, there's a murder mystery, and it's fictitious. This is a fiction.
Hmm.
Um, and we know as genealogists how to follow a paper trail. And Venator is the name of a fictitious uh, firm based in Salt Lake City, not in England, where Morton normally lives. Morton Ferrier is the lead um, character in all of these series of books. Um, but they have they have a team, and they may take a case, and they know that they have DNA provided by a police department, just like C.C. Moore did with the Golden State. What was the rest of his name? He was a serial killer.
Killer,
Yeah,
yeah.
killer. It was one of those bad words that I try not to think about. Anyway, they take that DNA like you take your DNA results and work back through the generations. Um, and in publicly available databases, you are able then to see who your matches are and things like that. Well, the way that the Venator team does it, they meet in the morning. Sometimes they bring donuts or whatever, and they work on it. And then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they each are working different angles of the DNA. Like, let's see if this, they might have five primary good looking matches for families. And so they'll each take one and try to work up the generation and down to see if anybody happened to be in the area where the Hollywood Strangler serial killer lived. So if the guy's in, Timbuktu, they pretty much can eliminate those last two generations that lived in Timbuktu, although there's always surprises if somebody took a trip. And that concept of reading the discussion between the Venator team members as to their reasoning, why they are excluding or only why they are excluding totally or somewhat suspicious or highly suspicious. Thank you, Ellen. I know I just have a few minutes to go. Is exactly what we need to do when trying to figure out um, a conundrum of maybe a misattributed parentage situation. Um, and if you had a DNA search angel help you find um, information on your adopted line, this is the same kind of steps, but they're outlined in this book. And of course, every chapter ending is a cliffhanger because you want to know what were the results that so and so from the team in Salt Lake has done or uncovered. We don't know until the next chapter, if it's going to prove or disprove. Now, Venator doesn't tell the police in California. I don't know why all these crimes are out there, but they are lately. Um, they give them the likely suspect,
Mhm.
and it could be two brothers or three, or a father and a son, or whatever. I'm not saying it's always a guy. And so then it's up to the police to try to work out obtaining current DNA from somebody who wasn't previously um, in their in their vision, in their focus, and then compare and contrast to see if it's an exact match. Um, it can be challenging. So you're right. That's the part where we're learning the paper trail research and the DNA research and the thought process behind it, because we're sitting in at those morning sessions of how they divide up the work, which is what we need to do, and those 4 p.m. every afternoon when they're giving their information that they've uncovered and what they went through to do it. That gives us ideas, as Randy says, of steps we might be missing in our research. And it's quite interesting. And then, like he says, there's the relationship of Morton with his family and some interesting things they mention. Roots Tech, he, he's on a panel, a DNA panel at Roots Tech. Um, and there are various high profile DNA folks who have their name mentioned as being seen or being on that DNA panel, etc. So it's really kind of fun. When he first did a Venator series, the first book, I recognized my house as the house, but with an upstairs set of bedrooms that we didn't actually have. So, um, and I mean, I couldn't believe it. So I finally asked Nathan, and he said, well, it certainly could be. And the way I triangulated it was he mentioned that they went to get food at a certain place. It was delivered because it was during COVID, and that was only a couple of blocks away. Well, it became undeniable at that point. So yeah, he just still smirks about it. But anyway, enough of all that. And I feel like I've talked way too much today. Been a lot to think about. So do consider, folks, joining the Dear Myrtle, Your Not So Retired Friend in Genealogy group over on Facebook. Let me give you the uh, invite. I think it's a link. Let's see what pulls up. Oh, I have to do that by name. I think I can share it by, I have to do it that way. There's the copy link. Okay, let me send that out to y'all. And then, believe me, I scrutinize everybody's profile to see if you're a legitimate person. I will accept bribes, particularly if it's chocolate. Thank you so much, panel, for being here and sticking with me today. We can only have about 5 of us on the panel showing all at once instead of the 10 of us like we used to because of changes at StreamYard. But I'm still pleased with this ability to share links. If I had been in Zoom, I would not be able to have the high quality work because Zoom has to depend on my computer. This is cloud-based, so my computer is free. I just have to keep connected to the internet to do it.
Are we doing the draw? Are you doing the draw?
Oh, yes, you got to remind me of these things. Okay, so we have a few more who signed up. Let's see who gets it. So good that you remind me. And you'll need to send a note to dearmyrtle@gmail.com. Remember, I'm leaving right away, so I won't get to it till this afternoon. Let me know how to send this to you. I will need your email. If you're from another country, I'll have to deal with it kind of differently. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit it now. Hillary got it. Okay, Hillary, you are in a foreign country to me, as far as Amazon is concerned. So congratulations. Do you have either of those books?
I think I might have the one of them, not the DNA one. I don't think.
All right.
I think
So
we've got might have the Research Like a Pro. I think that may have been shared with me by the author.
okay, so check your bookshelf to be sure, and then I'll send you the funds so that you can get the Kindle version of the DNA one. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
All righty. Everybody's saying congratulations. We're excited for you. They're all good sports. I'm not always able to do this, but had a little extra this month, so it's all good. I guess there's nothing left to say, but I'm Dear Myrtle, your not so retired friend in genealogy. Happy family tree climbing, everybody. That's a wrap.